Alrighty, so this is my FS7 build. You'll notice how long it is. It is extremely long camera. Well, extremely long lens, moderately sized camera. Please excuse any background noise. Yeah, I just film these videos when I can. So, FS7, long camera. What is important about this video to mention is basically viewfinder screen solution I've come up with. So it's hidden behind here, so you have to wait. But to describe the problem, I love the Gradical Eye EVF, and I use EVFs a lot in my shooting, but I also want a screen for when I'm doing really low shots on the ground, so I'm not sticking my head down to the ground, essentially. And I don't need a fancy screen. The stock screen would do just fine. So yeah, I wanted to see if I could combine the two. I guess going off inspiration from the Arri mirror and most Arri cameras these days that have a screen that folds into the EVF, and having that EVF screen combo on my rig. Nowhere near as polished as what Arri can do. They have so much more R&D and time than I do, but essentially I have come to a Mark 1 solution. So yeah, here it is. I'll actually tip it on the side so you can see. So that's it there. It is, yeah, as I was saying, the Gradical Eye is in there, and then the Sony FS7 screen is there as well. Let's see if I can't do that. And yeah, it works really well. You can sort of fold it in like that to keep it nice and close to the Gradical. And I've spaced it such that your nose and that doesn't poke you in the eye at all. It's all distanced away from your eye socket. So yeah, nice and comfortable. Gradical Eye, power and everything. And then because the FS7 screen is on its own rotating hinge, just from factory, you can sort of rotate it any direction you want from factory. You just have to have a short, stumpy little rod, which I've got here, combining the two. And then I 3D printed this bracket that screws into the other half of the rosette. So the Gradical Eye connects to its EVF mount with a rosette, but it's got a rosette on both sides of the EVF. So the secondary unused rosette, I've 3D printed a mount and got a spare rosette that I had, and yeah, 3D printed a little bracket curvature here that I tried to conform as best as I could to the Gradical, but I think in version 3 I'll be up to now. The next version I will actually take a photo of the Gradical and properly conform it to the size so that it's tight against the body of the Gradical. But yeah, basically you've got an articulating screen that you can also fold in, and then you've obviously got a bit of cable management here because you've got 3 wires, power for the Gradical, SDI video for the Gradical, and then the FS7 has a single cable. Now that would be the end of the story if this rig wasn't so long, but because it is so long, I've had to essentially extend the FS7's cable. So mid 49 make a cable extension for the FS7 FX. So mid 49 make a cable extension for the viewfinders of the FS5, FS7, FX9 and FX6, which is what this is here. It's just loosely attached at the moment, and it's got a 3D printed base on it to keep any flex out of it, to make sure the joint is nice and solid there between the two connectors, and it's not going to cause any flex and wear. And then yeah, I've bolted the Min49 connector down to this block of plastic to yeah, remove any chance of knocking and flexing and bending the connector pins. It's all very well protected there. So yeah, that's basically a cable that plugs into the stock FS7 viewfinder port, and then cable extension up to here for me, so that gets it halfway to the viewfinder. I've even got a bit of slack tucked behind here that if it were an even longer camera, I could put it further forward again. So that's been a good investment to be able to have my viewfinder at a suitable balance point to be able to balance this extremely long, heavy camera on my shoulder. You'll notice I've moved the top handle forward for that reason, to be able to grip it above the balance point of this camera. And yeah, having the EVF really forward just allows for good ergonomics and balance, and the shoulder pad down the bottom is also pushed forward, and the camera's sort of hanging off the end, but very solidly mounted with 2 screws. And then there's a very robust steel, and then there's a very robust metal, and then there's a very robust metal lens support here, which goes around the lens and sort of clamps it in a yoke circular fashion. So everything here is built really solidly, and then when I find a place to bolt this cable down, it will be solid as well. But yeah, that's basically the rig, and how I'm using it with the HD35. Yeah, I thought it might be interesting to see how I've rigged up a much larger rig, as people don't tend to talk about that sort of thing as much. Most importantly though, is the FS7 screen mod that I've done. Yeah, just makes it so that when I'm sort of shooting from the hip, or however I'm doing it, that I can tilt the screen up towards my face instead of having to stick my head in the viewfinder all the time, because sometimes you don't want your head in the viewfinder. Yeah, it might be just an uncomfortable position or something like that. So yeah, that's the stock screen and viewfinder build that I've done. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit like, it helps get the video out to more people. Feel free to share this with anybody you think could you know, get some ideas from this. Hopefully you got some ideas from this. I mean, 3D printing and this sort of very basic geometric design is pretty ubiquitous these days in being available to people. So yeah, it's something that a lot of people, even with a very cheap 3D printer, would be able to achieve. So yeah, that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, got some ideas. I'll see you on the next one.